All right, hey guys, welcome to the Storyalysis podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Pierre.
We are on Love Part 2. Up to bat, Jared Singer, Asia Samson. We'll be putting the links to the original poems in the description, so be sure to give those a listen before we start.
Mhm.
Pierre, do you have any
Yeah.
opening words for us before we begin?
Sure, this is quick. Yeah, so I chose these two poets because this is the love theme, right? So this is about love. But these guys are manifesting their love through things that they care about, like comic book, like Jared Singer will, and time periods that they've loved, like Asia will do and Love Unite like the 90s. So for that reason, it looked very nice. We're gelling. I did say that we're going to do Cotton in the Air by what is one more Derrick Brown, but after listening to that, I and Christian have decided that it's more erotic and lust driven than love. So we're not doing Cotton in the Air. But I'll still put that down there for anyone who wants to listen to it. Still a very good poem. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, cool. Sounds good to me. All right, Jared Singer, here we go.
The boy who wears his comic books like armor often sits alone. He is more comfortable with Iron Man and his own thoughts than he will ever be with a woman. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Because of his nervous tics, she will never feel commonplace to him. She will always know that she is special. The boy who wears his comic books like armor tries to tell her that he loves her each and every day. She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that when he says, "You remind me of Psylocke," he is not actually saying he thinks you are a scantily clad assassin. He is saying, you have to be psychic. How else could you always know the right thing to say? He is saying you have to be a ninja. How else could you have stolen my heart so easily? He is saying, damn, girl, you have absolutely got to be Psylocke. She is the only character I have ever read about who is as graceful and daring as you are. The boy who wears his comic books like armor is not a good lover.
All right.
All right, so, you want to go first?
No, go ahead, Christian. Go ahead, Christian. Bless us.
Okay. Okay, so I looked this up per your request. Psylocke, a superhero from the Marvel comics, and she's
Mm-hmm.
known for her complex personality, her formidable combat skills, and her intricate psychic powers. So, just providing a little more context to anyone who
Yeah.
does not know who that is. But I really like what he's saying here. We're talking about a boy whose entire personality revolves around comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Love is a very hard thing to grasp, especially as a kid. So this boy wrestles with the ambiguity of love by leaning on something that gives him a great deal of clarity: comic books. So he's probably been looking up to these stories for guidance all this time. So naturally, when he needs help with something like love, he'll turn to his most trusted source: comic books. So in his mind, to be compared to Psylocke is the greatest compliment he can give a woman or give a
Yes.
love interest. But
Yes.
due to his lack of experience with resonating and connecting with others, he's unaware of the disconnect.
Yes.
He's speaking to this girl in a different language. And no matter how lovely the words are or how nuanced his intentions are, if the other person does not speak the same language as you, there will always be a disconnect.
Yes. Oh, yes, Christian. Yes, I'm so happy. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love it. Christian, everything you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 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 exactly. Yes, because that's his
Mm-hmm.
world. And that's the only way he can in his eyes, on his peripherals, right? His POV, like I'm doing this the right way, because that's the only way. Comic books are my thing. So of course I'm going to associate this girl that I have a crush on with the most gracious and loving character dynamic that I've ever read about, Psylocke. But the way he
Mm,
describes all these little things, like you have to be psychic because
mm,
Psylocke is psychic. How do we always know the right thing to say? You have to be a ninja. How else could you have stolen my heart so quickly? Because, a ninja, the
mm,
agility, the stealth. It's just,
mm,
oh, damn, girl. He said, damn, girl.
mm,
It's so nice. It's nice. Like, it's nice when people, he's basically an introvert, but it's nice when people are into different kind of things and they can make a correlation to express their emotions through that thing to someone else. But like you mentioned, which is the most important thing, there's a fucking disconnect. So she doesn't understand. But yeah, dude,
mm,
but that's still his way of manifesting love. So it's powerful shit.
mm, mm. All right. Ready to go?
Let's do it, Rich King.
All right.
The way he barely touches her makes her feel unattractive, like he is only doing this because she wants him to. This could not be further from the truth. He is simply treating her like the only thing that has ever been this important before comic books. When he undresses her, he does it carefully, like removing the slipcover from a brand new issue. As careful not to wrinkle her clothing as he would be not to damage the plastic. One day, she will leave him. Because feeling special isn't as important as feeling loved.
You think there's a difference between what he just said?
Feeling special isn't special as feeling love. Yeah, because anyone can be special. Love is something else, dude. We make girls that we have crushes on feel special. We make women that we're trying to just sleep with feel special, but love is more pure. So yeah, I think there's a difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I would also say that I think to feel loved is a to feel love is to feel special, but to feel special is not always to feel loved. So love is
Mm,
a special kind of feeling.
um, yeah, the Dave said in his freaking EP with Central C, if I'm buying Chanel bags for the women I don't like, imagine what I'm doing for the women I love. It's just like I don't even like her. I'm just trying to smash, and I'm buying her freaking $1,000 bags. What do you think I'm doing for people I do love? But yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
I
buying
can
her a
understand that.
$2,000 bag.
Is that what it is? That's what Chanel is. I don't know. But, hey, he's a rapper, so money's nothing to these guys. But yeah, but I like Dave. Dave is black centric. I love Dave a lot. Black, and we're all
Of
alone in this
course,
together. Fire.
of course.
Psychodrama. It's like drama. We're all in this together. Okay. All right. But yeah,
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go.
He does love her. She can't understand. He will spend the rest of his life wishing that he were Peter Parker, knowing that if he had a mask to remove, then she, just like Mary Jane, would be his forever, but I don't have a mask to remove. Just an awkward smile. I hope one day it's enough.
I wonder if he has a partner. I couldn't help but notice that his, nowadays, whenever somebody wears like a rainbow T-shirt,
hmm
there there's a good chance that they are part of the LGBT community. I mean, it's not always the case, but there's a chance. So I
yeah,
wonder if he has a partner.
he does.
Yeah.
I think she's in the stand. If you listen to that whole thing, well, I chose specifically that first poem of that whole. We're seeing another poem in this, the suicide note. When we get to the suicide portion, but yeah, I think his wife's in the stand because in one of the poems he's talking about his wife, how losing weight, he never knew that his body would come in between her. I think someone in the audience gasp or does something. I'm like, that might be his wife in there. I don't know. I think his wife's in the stand. I think it's not proven. I've watched live at Minneapolis this thing of him like 5-6 times. I think his wife's in there. But yeah, he is. He has a woman, a wife. Yeah, yeah.
Mm. So you think that was like a new revelation for her? What he was saying in the poem?
Um,
Assuming
she
she was in the
probably
crowd.
she's probably aware because they made it past that. It was probably the beginning of their relationship. I guess was that way.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to yeah. especially if you're not an introvert yourself. I guess it's tough to build a relationship with someone that's so different, so closed off. But I guess over time, I don't know, just you get through beneath all these layers and just find a good person with qualities and someone who love you and make you feel special and shit, like you're saying. But yeah,
Mm.
some
I
tough
also
shit.
like how in the beginning, because we skipped the first minute or two, in in his intro, he said he has a book that he's
Mm-hmm.
written. So again, we see another strong correlation. Being well read, it gives you the ability to wield your words like a poet.
This
And
is
it's no
true.
coincidence that they are all so comfortable with literature to the point where they would make their own book.
Yeah,
So you
that is
should look
true.
forward to the book discussions,
We
Pierre.
are gonna have book discussions. Yes, Christian, you're gonna get me to do some shit I don't like. It is what it is. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. I just had a fucking dirty thought. It's so weird. I'm gonna say it anyway. Family Guy. One of the guy was like, "Hey, when I met Peter, is one of the most persuasive guys I know. When I met him, I was a virgin." I was like, I'm like, oh my goodness. This is when I knew I'm gonna
Bro,
watch Family Guy. No, but
we're
that was not
talking
Peter. That
about
was about
love
Joe.
right now. What are
That's a
you
whole
on
different
about with
thing.
this lust business?
It's crazy shit. I don't know why. It was like that's such a dirty thought. That's weird. But Christian, we didn't even go over the second part. Okay, so right. He's like, she doesn't understand. Like, unfortunately, like you mentioned, feeling special is not the same as being like feeling love. Like, she doesn't know that when he's taking his time with her is not to distance himself from her or to make her feel unattractive, but it's because he's treating her like the latest edition of a comic book. Like, slowly taking
Mm-hmm.
his time to remove her clothing to not wrinkle her, just like he would do to not damage the plastic of latest edition. As in everything he's doing, the disconnect that you mentioned is not getting through because to her she's seeing someone who does is not into me like that. But to him, this is the most precious piece of jewel, just like comic books that's in front of him, but she doesn't know. And then the final reference, the Peter Parker reference, he's like, unlike Spider-Man, I don't have a mask that I can just take off and be a whole different person. This is just who I am, and it's so sad. I can't change that because that's me. Like, my DNA is wrapped up, my being, my mannerisms. That's just all that is just me, unfortunately, and that's not enough. I hope someday it's enough, which is a very sad ending. Still, I put that in the love category because that's his way of showing love. Because that's his only way of demonstrating love through comic books, which is the only thing that he loves but she doesn't understand.
Mm.
Yeah. What do you have for the second part? I realized we didn't even talk about the last part.
Well, just him saying this poem in the very beginning, because again, we skipped the intro. He said that there was multiple iterations of this poem, and this is like the seventh one or maybe the final one.
Mm-hmm.
So the way he's speaking right now, he is showing through his words that he can express love way better. Like if he were to tell his partner that I love you because you're just like Psylocke, and then he goes to say because Psylocke is a ninja and you steal my heart or whatever he was saying in the poem. That's how you can that's how you can eliminate the disconnect with somebody. Like you tell them that they're based on a comic book character and then you just explain why they're based on that character. Like what is it about this character that is like me? So when he's a kid though, he probably he doesn't know how to he doesn't do that last simple step of just explaining what this character is. He just says, "Oh man, you're so much like Psylocke," you know. So it's like it's cool because you can see the evolution of his character purely due to the fact that he is saying this poem the way he is saying it.
Yeah, but also as an introvert who reads comic books, who sits in the lunchroom alone, you don't really have that much practice with actual girls to even get to a point and work on your game pretty much on how to correlate your passion with flirting words to a woman. So it must have been
Yeah,
tough for him
yeah,
to develop that. But
right. And that's why
but
it's
yeah.
cool that we could see like he's now developed the game, as you say,
Mm,
to an extent.
okay. I guess that's hope. That's a good thing. That's progress. But yeah, this was this was homeboy Jared Singer. We will see Jared Singer again when we do the suicide portion. A letter from Sarah. God damn it, powerful shit. And then we'll see Jared Singer again when we do the opposite, complete different point of views, potential. Which I can't wait when we do that one. Yeah. All right, great. We are done with Jared. Now we are moving to Mr. Asia Samson.
Yeah. 90s love.
I want to love you like the 90s. All right. Unfortunately, we were born. I say unfortunately, we were born in the late 90s, but we didn't really get to experience it. So a lot of things he's about to say, I will not hit me as much as it would hit someone who was a teenager or a late teenager in the 90s. But I've seen The Fresh Prince. I've seen Family Matters. I think I'll be able to relate to some of those stuffs.
That's your
But
relatability.
still, yeah, but still,
You've seen
it's
two
a
shows.
very that are 90s based shows. Christian, my earliest memories are like the early 2000s. I was not there for things he's saying, but I can understand them. I don't know.
Yeah.
You've seen two shows. I've seen some movies too, bro. I've seen Primal Fear.
No, it's just the way you said it. It's like, I've seen two shows. So I know what he's
Mm.
talking about.
So I don't know what he's talking about, is what I'm saying. This man's trying to twist my words like I'm dyslexic. That's Central C with Dave again on the EP. I don't know why I can just remember that EP's name.
Right.
Crazy shit.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Here we go.
So I want to love you like the 90s. I want to love you like gazelles and cross-color overalls. I want to love you like a new pair of Feeless and K-Swiss kicks. I want to love you like Junior Dance 1996, where you and I can rock the same outfit, airbrush t-shirt and oversized flannel. You with the Aquanet hair, the fan above your forehead. Me with the Gumby flat top that lean to the side. Taking prom pictures, posing next to a plastic pillar with a castle in the background. I want to love you like the 90s. I want to love you like Jordache backpacks and Trapper Keepers. I want to love you like you love your beeper, Motorola Bravo, clear case with a chain on it. And when it goes off, you'll know it's me because I'm the only one that beeps you 143. Love. See, some of y'all don't know what that is. For those who don't know, back in the old days, before you could text message somebody, you can only beep them. And if you beep somebody 143, that means what? I love you, because one letter in I, four letters in love, three letters in you. So y'all got it? Yeah? Whatever. It's better than bae or whatever y'all are saying nowadays.
Right. So the references, right? Yeah, like gazelle, cross-color overalls, oversized flannels. Like I mentioned, I did see these things in Fresh Prince, Christian. I'm not even kidding. Like Will Smith used to rock
I
these
saw
shit.
those too. Yeah.
Yeah, the Gumby flat top that leans on the side. I know that haircut. Never got it because it was way past my timeline. Unfortunately, I would have been the the subject of ridicule for that week in high school. But I know what he's talking about. But the intimacy, right? Love you like your beeper. Oof, your Motorola Bravo. Like, and I'll just beep you 143, which means I love you. Like, it's so cute. So throughout this whole poem, my boys just about to reference a bunch of things that was done in the 90s, but also that held so much more meaning because it was just like it was less of all these extra distraction and freaking, not that people didn't cheat or people didn't have malice, like, we're all fucking sinners and shit, but it's just like it was a better time for lovers, better time for young people because they were, I guess, more exposed, more vulnerable to each other, more out there. I don't know. I was not even from that time frame. I was born in 1996, but I didn't experience the 90s like he's talking about. But it sounds really dope. Sounds cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to let it play a little more before I give my thoughts.
Okay.
So, okay.
See, love never needed text messages and cell phones because we both know it ain't love till I'm throwing rocks at your bedroom window. It ain't love until I have the guts to call your house at 11 o'clock at night, hoping your father doesn't pick up because you know you're not supposed to call a house at 11 o'clock at night, but we got a system. Call and hang up after the second ring. And we never had to worry about the battery dying because our phone had a 30-foot cord that we from the kitchen, down the hall, and into your bedroom, while we're talking to the night saying things like, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Until we stay on the phone till we both fall asleep. I want to love you like the 90s. Back when we made book covers out of paper bags. Back when we passed notes in class. The ones we used to fold a little flap the cesspool.
Crazy shit. Well, it's not really crazy shit. Like, it ain't love till I'm throwing rocks at your window. Bro, that's some cute shit, man. Like, we don't do shit like that no more. First, you end up arrested. That's fucking damaging someone's property. But still, it's just, like, that's some cute shit, man. Like back when our phone didn't have a battery because the extension cord, the cord of the house phone could freaking go all the way. Like wrap it around the hallway, get in the closet so you can talk and say shit like you hang up first. It just sounds like such a good time, man. Minus the extra racism because it was the 90s. Like as a black guy, this looked like a time period which I would love to be a teenager in. But it's just like, oh, it's so freaking cool, man. Crazy shit. Book covers out of paper bags. Now, although that's a 90 thing, I guess Haiti's a poor country, so I guess we got some of the fads after they extinguished in the US. I still saw people that had book covers made of paper bags in Haiti while I
Oh
was in New York.
yeah, I forgot
2000s.
that. Wow, I forgot that I used to. I remember that too when I was a kid, having book covers be made of paper.
Yeah.
I
So
completely
there's some
forgot
shit
about
we
that.
can there's some shit we can relate with. But yeah, it's some cute shit, man. But yeah, that's about it
Okay.
for this segment. You still reserving yours till the end?
No, not till the end. Just like the next 20 seconds, maybe.
Okay.
Back before Facebook turned us into disconnected fools, I don't need a status that says in a relationship. I need a status that says we go together. I don't need you to like my comments. I need you to check like at the end of my letter. And by the way, writing and checking maybe is not an option. Pick a color. Blue, BLUE. You do like me.
Okay.
All right, so I'll go first this time because you started off before. So the yeah, earlier he talked about some pretty classic imagery, like we just talked about. One of them was like there's this movie from the late 80s, early 90s called Say Anything, where a guy he plays a song from a boombox to the girl that he loves. You know that imagery, right? Have you seen
Yeah.
that before? Like
Mhm.
just social media or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is an image that has really culturally represented love well into the 90s and early 2000s. And this goes to show how media plays a huge role in writing society's definition of love. So the zeitgeist of an era, which is the general mood of society, can have a huge influence on what people think love is. And nowadays, that mood comes from things like social media, video games, movies, TV shows, etc. And I think that's part of why it's important for people to feel that they're represented in the media, because many people understand what it is that I just said, even if they can't verbally express it. And so they advocate for more representation of things like LGBT and diversity in media because they want the mood to be a more accepting one, even at the cost of reducing the quality of storytelling sometimes, just for the sake of making people feel included. But I think you know where I stand on that. But that's a whole nother discussion. But my point is, you can gauge the mood of an era by looking at the media that it consumes. And the modern world is heavily influenced by TikTok, by Instagram, by Twitter, by YouTube. And the love you see people flaunt on these platforms, it's quick, it's detached, and it's superficial. That's how it comes off.
Yeah.
And many people consider the previous mood, the mood of the 90s, to be more authentic because of the emphasis on human to human interaction that wasn't so deeply
Yes.
connected to technology. And this
Yes.
runs counter to the modern mood where, especially with dating and things like Tinder and Bumble, everybody interacts with each other through a screen. That's how a lot of people feel comfortable, especially the newer generation growing up. So I think the love that Asia is talking about echoes what I just described. But I also want to acknowledge that it could be that this poem is just a personal poem for him that isn't meant to be some grand commentary on society. It could just be something that he wanted to say because it resonates with him really deeply. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Christian, there's at least 3 shorts in what you just said, and I'm gonna dig him out. Wow. Oh,
Yeah,
Christian, powerful shit, man. Yeah, yeah. Couldn't have said in better terms. I can. I'm gonna have to do it right now. I'm kidding. I
go
cannot.
for it.
Yeah, yeah. That's dude. Everything you just said, freaking. That's so true. Like he even said, right? Facebook before Facebook turned us into distant, disconnected fools. Because
Right.
social media, you would think the whole concept of that is to connect people together, which probably was the intent behind it, probably was what it was supposed to do. But unfortunately, yes, it has made us more disconnected. We're now just interacting with screens. We're now seeing people's fake perception of love and happiness that's sometimes rehearsed, thrown in our face, and we're like, hey, this is what love is, which is like really not the case. Like I don't need a status to say we're in a relationship. I need a status to say we go together, that we gel. Like, I don't need you to like my comment. I need you to like the end of my letter. How do you like the end of his letter? Because you got through the old letter. It was more like genuine. It was more like you just said, the physical or even the connection was more What's the adjective I'm looking for here? Better is just too small of a word.
Authentic.
Authentic. Christian. Christian. I don't know what's happening, bro, but you're doing it. But yeah, actually, he always does it. But yeah, it's that's true. We've been led astray when we're looking at what the modern day version and definition of love is, and what a strong relationship is. And it looks like, from what he's saying, which might have been from personal experiences, might be something like close to him, not just some big, like message he's making about a better period. That, like, yeah, it was done better in that time. And as someone who didn't know that time, I know this time, and he is correct about that. We're all just disconnected fools. But yeah, it's a nice kind of love. All right,
Mhm.
let's
All right.
go.
I love you like the 90s, back when love was as reliable as TGIF on Friday nights. I want to love you like that, make you the Kelly to my Zach, the Laura to my Urkel, the Gina to my Martin, the Topanga to my Corey. I want to love you like the 90s, back when MTV actually played music videos. And when my favorite one played, which at the time was Boyz II Men on Bended Knee, I would run from across the room with a tape recorder and press it up against the television speakers. If you listen to my tapes, most of my songs have my sister's voice in the background and me going, "Shut up, I'm recording."
Although that's a '90s thing, the last anecdote he just brought up, how he would like to put the recorder on the speaker and listen to the music video and then record it, and like I used to do that actually. Like,
Me
again, I don't
too.
know,
Me
because I'm
too.
from Haiti. Okay, I guess it's not Haiti. Just
Nah,
everywhere was
dude.
doing
I
that.
remember I
Okay.
used to, for like my ringtones for my flip phone, if I really liked the song, I would go up to it and I would record it, and then that would be my new ringtone. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That is, yeah, it's nice. Like all these, it's very nostalgic, but it's like it really was a better time. Just it's insane. It's insane, man. A time that we're never gonna go back to. Because as like you just said, technological advancements are so rapid these days. We're just going from one app to another app, and we're just going from disconnected fool to more disconnected fools to more disconnected fools. Just
Mhm.
it's but it's nice to look back and say that we've lived some portions of what he's talking about that we can actually relate to, and it's sad that we're never
Mhm.
gonna get them back. But yeah, crazy shit. Laura to my Urkel, I got that. Like I mentioned, I watch Family Matters. Gina to my Martin, I completely understand that. I watch Martin. Yeah, there's a
Mhm.
few of these. There's a few of these that I'm be like, I get it, I get it. But
Mhm.
yeah, crazy shit.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
Yep.
I love you like the 90s, back before iPods made music too complicated. Love never needed 2,000 songs. It only needed 3 albums, Together Forever by Shy, Heartbreak by New Edition, and the Boomerang soundtrack. I want to love you like a time way back when lyrics could describe exactly how I feel. I want to love you like the 90s, back when making a playlist meant dubbing you a mixtape. I want to love you like cassette, the kind of love that even when it gets tangled, we just have to stick a pencil into the spool and reel it back to normal. I want to love you like portable Sony CD players, the kind of love that even when it gets scratched, we just have to wipe it on our sleeves because love just needs a little touch to make it move. I want to love you like Nintendo. And for the record, I know Nintendo came out in the 80s, but when you're poor, you never get to own anything the same year it comes out. Mine was hand-me-down and broken. I had to put books on top to keep the cartridge from popping up. But like love, sometimes you just need a little pressure to make it work. Love has never been anything more than a collection of memories, has always been full of possibilities as the future that lay before us. So I want to love you like the 90s, never wanting to leave it behind, never wanting to grow up. Thanks.
Okay.
Bodied it.
Let's see
This
him.
man bodied it, man. Ugh. Look at
He
these two
threw
people can
in
just talk
every
about love.
reference he could possibly think of.
Wait. What do you mean he could? What does that mean? Wait, I'm gonna let you explain. Like, is that a bad thing? Or what do you
Why
mean?
you said it like that? Was not a
I don't
bad
know.
thing. I'm just saying he dug deep. He thought of every reference he could think of.
Um, Reference. Love you like a cassette. That was a big thing in the '90s, and I love how he made the love correlation to that. Because when it's tangled, you stick a pencil in it and into the spool and reel it back to normal. As in, that's a agile kind of love. Like we can always get back. Portable Sony CD players. That's a big thing in the '90s. I saw it in Fresh Prince, like I mentioned. Like when it's
Yeah, and
scratched, you wipe it in
see,
your sleeve.
and you didn't grow up as a gamer, but I did. And
Mhm.
that is a classic move whenever you had
Yeah.
a system that had like a disc or a cartridge for the discs. Even nowadays, actually, that I mean, now game consoles are moving more towards digital stuff and no more physical discs. But
Mm-hmm.
you would have to, if the disc wasn't working, you'd have to take it out, kind of inspect it a little, look at the scratches, rub it with your shirt, put it back in, hope it plays. And then with the cartridges for like the Nintendo 64 and like all those other systems, you'd have to take it out and just blow it like a harmonica. These are universal things that everybody had to do if
Right.
you played games as a kid.
That's why these references, someone in the 90s or
It's
yeah, can relate
yeah,
to.
and at the time, nobody ever would have thought that that would have been like a beautiful gesture that's fondly looked back on. Like at the time,
Right. It
it
was a
was probably
hassle.
just like, yeah, it was a hassle, it was an inconvenience. Now it's like a novelty to do something like
Yeah. Yeah, that's
that.
true.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, these references, and I like that he accentuated to make sure, like, hey, Nintendos were from the 80s. I know that. But when you're poor, you get hand-me-downs. Like, it's like finally, once it got to the 90s, it got cheap enough for me to buy it from someone or get it as a gift or a secondhand. I was able to get it. But in another reference, again, I had to put books on top to keep the cartridge from popping up. That's how broken that Nintendo was. And then to correlate that to love again, because love just needs a little bit of pressure to make it work. These last three references, he like literally just said them and said something so beautiful after, just to basically emphasize on what is love to him. Like okay, so to recap this whole thing, right? Like iPods, before iPods made music too complicated. Love needs to be more simple. You don't need 2,000 songs, you just need 3 albums, which those are just his favorite 3 albums. Anyone can take these off and replace it with their favorite items. Lyrics could describe exactly how I feel. Like you mentioned, right? More authentic. Nowadays there's songs about well, there's all kind of trash songs out there, but there are good ones like Louis Capaldi, Ed Sheeran, Sam Smith, freaking Teddy Swims, fire. There's a bunch of good ones out there. James Arthur, Avalanche. Well, there's just one song off It All Makes Sense in the End, I think. There's still good lyrics out there, but I'm assuming he's just saying not as much. Also, he was
Mm.
there and he's here now. You hear the old heads say all the time, like, this trash that kids listen to today just would never stand back in my day because they know that it was just better. It was stronger for them. And yeah, the references I already mentioned, the cassette, right? Like he tied that to love beautifully. Portable Sony CD players, he tied that back into love beautifully. The Nintendo, he tied that back in. And then to wrap it up, the most beautiful conclusion, because love is just a collection of memories, full of possibilities as the future that lay before us. Never wanting to leave it behind, never wanting to grow up. Love you like the 90s. It's fucking beautiful. Like the way these two guys profess their love through things that they liked or time periods that they were very fond of is just so beautifully done. And it's so authentic because you can see it because they lived it. Because like fucking Jared is a comic book head. Like homeboy Asia really loves the 90s. And for that reason, they want to love their significant others the way they love that time period or that thing. I don't know. I thought that shit was fucking dope. These two bodied this shit, in my opinion. But
Yeah, it
go ahead,
is
bro. Give
really
your
dope.
give your take.
No,
Give your
very
take,
dope, very
Christian.
dope. No, you said it well, and I've said pretty much all that I thought about it. Yeah, it was great, really great.
Crazy shit.
Both of them did a great
All
job.
right. All right. Well, guys, we're done. We're finished. What are we gonna do next? Next will be Love Part 3, and it'll be Anis, Mojgani, Milos, fucking beautiful, and then Alicia Harris, Death Bomb. Which, why is it in love, Pierre? You see when we get to it. Crazy shit. But yeah, Christian, I got nothing else. What do you have to say for yourself?
Yep. Why do you make it sound like I'm in trouble? What do you got to say for yourself, huh?
What do you have to say
What
for
the fuck did you
yourself?
just do? Nah, I'm good though. I'm good.
Great. All right, folks, we'll be back. I'm going to sleep. All right.
All right.
It's 3 p.m. All right.
All right. See
All
ya.
right, bye.